Fear affects me in different ways, from a vague uneasiness or knotted stomach to a dizzying panic. As if the world is ending. Where does fear come from? Where does it go? All your fears are byproducts of identification. You love a person, and with love, in the same parcel, comes fear the person may leave you. They have already left somebody else and come with you. So there is a precedent, perhaps they will do the same to you. There is fear, you feel knots in the stomach. You are so attached, you cannot grasp a simple fact. You have come alone into the world. You have been here yesterday too. Without this person, and you were doing perfectly well, without any knots in the stomach. Tomorrow, if this person goes, what is the need of the knots? You already know how to be without the person. And you will be able to be alone again. The fear that things may change tomorrow. Somebody may die, you may go bankrupt. Your job may be taken away, there are 1,001 things that might change. You are burdened with fears, and none of them are valid because yesterday also. You were full of all these fears, unnecessarily. Things may have changed, but you are still alive. And people have an immense capacity to adjust themselves to any situation. They say that only human beings and cockroaches have this immense capacity for adjustment. That's why wherever you find humans, you will find cockroaches, and wherever you find cockroaches you will find human beings. They go together, they have a similarity. Even in faraway places like the North Pole or the South Pole, when people first traveled to those places, they suddenly found they had brought cockroaches with them. And those roaches were perfectly healthy and living and reproducing. If you just looked around the earth, you can see men live in thousands of different climates, geographical situations, political situations, sociological situations, religious situations, but he manages to live. And he has lived for centuries. Things go on changing, he goes on adjusting himself. There is nothing to fear. Even if the world ends, so what? You will be ending with it. Do you think you will be standing on an island and the whole world will end, leaving you alone? Don't be worried. At least you will have a few cockroaches with you. What is the problem if the world ends? I have been asked about it many times. But what is the problem? If it ends, it ends. It does not create any problem because we will not be here, we will be ending with it. And there will be no one to worry about. It will be really the ultimate freedom from fear. The world ending means every problem ending, every disturbance ending, every knot in your stomach ending. I don't see the problem. But I know that everybody is full of fear. Everybody has a kind of armor, and there are reasons for it. First, the child is born so utterly helpless, into a world he knows nothing of. Naturally, he is afraid of the unknown that faces him. He has not yet forgotten those 9 months of absolute security, safety, when there was no problem. No responsibility, no worry for tomorrow. To us, those are 9 months, but to the child it is eternity. He knows nothing of the calendar. He knows nothing of minutes, hours, days, months. He has lived an eternity in absolute safety and security, without any responsibility. And then suddenly he is thrown into a world unknown, where he is dependent for everything on others. It is natural that he will feel afraid. Everybody is bigger and more powerful. And he cannot live without the help of others. He knows he is dependent, he has lost his independence, his freedom. A child is weak, vulnerable, insecure. Automatically he starts creating an armor. A protection for himself in different ways. For example, he has to sleep alone. It is dark and he is afraid, but he has his teddy bear. And he convinces himself that he is not alone, his friend is with him. You will see children dragging their teddy bears. At airports, at railway stations. Do you think it is just a toy? To you it is, but to the child, it is a friend, and a friend when nobody else is there. To help him in the darkness of the night, alone in the bed, still the teddy bear is with him. He will create psychological teddy bears. And remember that although a grown-up man may think that he has no teddy bears, he is wrong. What is his God? Just a teddy bear. Out of his childhood fear, man has created a father figure who knows all, who is all-powerful, who is everywhere present. If you have enough faith in him, he will protect you. But the very idea of protection, the very idea that a protector is needed, is childish. Then you learn prayer. These are just parts of your psychological armor. Prayer is to remind God that you are here, alone in the night. Our prayers, chanting, mantras, our scriptures, our gods, our priests, are all part of our psychological armor. It is very subtle. A Christian believes that he will be saved and nobody else. Now, that is his defensive arrangements. Everybody is going to fall into hell except him, because he is a Christian. But every religion believes, in the same way, that only they will be saved. It is not a question of the religion. It is a question of fear and being saved from fear. So it is natural in a way. But at a certain point in your maturity, intelligence demands that it should be dropped. It was good when you were a child. But one day you have to leave your teddy bear. Finally, the day you drop all your armor. It means you have dropped living out of fear. What kind of living can arise out of fear? Once the armor is dropped, you can live out of love, you can live in a mature way. The fully matured person has no fear, no defense. He is psychologically open and vulnerable. At one point, the armor may be a necessity, perhaps it is. But as you grow, if you are not only growing old but also growing up, growing in maturity, then you will start seeing what you are carrying with you. Look closely and you will find fear behind so many things. A mature person should disconnect himself from anything that is connected with fear. That's how maturity comes. Just watch all your acts, all your beliefs, and find out whether they are based in reality, in experience, or based in fear. Anything based in fear has to be dropped immediately, without a second thought. It is your armor. I cannot melt it for you, I can simply show you how you can drop it. Your psychological armor cannot be taken away from you. You will fight for it. Only you can do something to drop it. And that is to look at each and every part of it. If it is based in fear, then drop it. If it is based in reason, in experience, in understanding, then it is not something to be dropped, it is something to be made part of your being. But you will not find a single thing in your armor that is based on experience. It is all fear, from A to Z. We go on living out of fear. That's why we go on poisoning every other experience. We love somebody, but when our love comes out of fear, it is spoiled, poisoned. We seek truth, but if the search is out of fear, then you are not going to find it. Whatever you do, remember one thing: out of fear you are not going to grow. You will only shrink and die. Fear is in the service of death. A fearless person has everything that life wants to give to you as a gift. Now there is no barrier. You will be showered with gifts, and whatever you do, you will have a strength, a power, a certainty, a tremendous feeling of authority. A person living out of fear is always trembling inside. He is continuously on the point of going insane, because life is big. And if you are continuously in fear, and fears of all kinds are available, you can make a big list, and you will be surprised how many fears are there still. You are alive. There are infections all around, disease, dangers, kidnapping, terrorists, and such a small life. And finally there is death, which you cannot avoid. Your whole life will become dark. Drop the fear. The fear was taken up by you in your childhood, unconsciously. Now consciously drop it and be mature. Then life can be a light that goes on deepening as you go on growing.